The sound of heavy breathing and the rustling of leaves filled the night air as Emma stumbled through the dark, deserted woods of Redwood Forest. Her heart was racing with fear, and she could feel a bead of sweat trickling down her forehead. She had been walking aimlessly for hours, lost and alone, with no sign of civilization in sight. As she stumbled over a fallen tree branch, she suddenly heard a branch snap behind her. She turned around, but all she saw was darkness and a pair of glowing red eyes staring back at her. She froze, her heart pounding in her chest, as a shadowy figure emerged from the trees. It was a man, tall and menacing, with a dark hood covering his face. Emma tried to run, but he was too fast, and he quickly grabbed her by the arm. She screamed, but he clamped a hand over her mouth, muffling her cries. For what felt like hours, Emma was dragged through the woods, her captor remaining silent. Eventually, they came to a small cabin, hidden deep in the woods of Whispering Pines. Inside, the man threw her into a small, damp room and locked the door behind him. Emma was trapped, alone, with no way out. She could hear the sound of footsteps outside her door, pacing back and forth, as her captor taunted her with his eerie laughter. Slowly, she began to realize that she was not the first one to be held captive in this place. The room was filled with gruesome reminders of the previous victims, all of whom had met a grisly end. Days turned into weeks as Emma struggled to survive in her small, dark prison. She was beaten, starved, and tortured, constantly harassed by her captor's twisted mind games. The cabin was located deep in the woods of Silent Hollow, making it nearly impossible for her to escape. Finally, one day, Emma was given a chance to escape. Her captor had left her alone in the cabin, believing that she had no way of escaping, but she had managed to slip out of her bonds and make a run for it. She raced through the woods of Midnight Valley, her heart pounding with fear, until she stumbled upon a small cabin. Inside, she found a group of other survivors, all of whom had been taken by the same man and managed to escape. They were all shaken and traumatized, but together, they called the police, and the man was finally caught and brought to justice. But Emma was never the same. The trauma of her captivity had left a permanent mark on her psyche, and she struggled to adjust to life outside of her prison. She was haunted by the memories of those who had not been as lucky as she was, and she lived her life in constant fear of the darkness that had once consumed her. She left the town of Silent Hollow and moved far away, hoping to leave the memories behind. But they followed her, a constant reminder of the horror she had endured.